Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the MSP Corner podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today we're going to continue the cybersecurity discussion because, we got cut short yesterday, and Gregory and I are going to discuss a few bullet points that we're probably going to expand on some answers or maybe give some insight. Gregory has a lot more knowledge in this arena, so let's kick this show off. We're operating an MSSP, right? So based on the information you gathered yesterday, are we going to make any changes to our current policy? I'm the one that's creating these contracts, and do I need to go back and make any adjustments to our current clauses that addresses cybersecurity insurance?
Well, I'll tell you this, yes and no. They told us that it wasn't a regulated industry, right? That there's no requirements to have cybersecurity insurance and of what kind and what it does for you. And having been through a dozen cybersecurity breaches and lawsuits, I pretty much know that our our contract doesn't protect us at all, because anyone could sue anyone in the state of California for anything. So what do you protect? You could say in your contract, like we've seen before, we say things in our contract like non-compete stuff. We put non-compete stuff in our contract and we say you can't go work for our customer without our permission, or you can't, if you got to wait a year before going to work for one of our customers. Well, that's all moot because it doesn't even mean anything, right? It's all just, you can't write over the law with your contract, and there is no law about cybersecurity. So
Well, let me ask you this though. Let's say we are a client, we're responsible for everything, right? And I say that loosely because IT, there's so much involved with IT. We don't control what, it's funny because my wife comes home with her computer and I gave her a thumb drive. She goes, "Oh, I can't plug this thumb drive while I'm at the office," but she can when she's at home, right? They don't allow thumb drives to be. It won't work. As a matter of fact, I don't think it would even. Yeah, actually, we tried it when she did come home and it didn't work. But I'm assuming you can lock down computers pretty tight. But my question is this: if we are in charge of IT and we're explaining to a client that, okay, we've checked off every box. Look, you are a medical office or you're a financial office, and you are we have backup in place, we've got a proactive model in place, you're in the cloud, all you're locked in. This client is running efficiently, they're secure, and when I say secure, they've only authorized EDR. They're not in the any interest in adding additional fees for SIM, vulnerability scanning, phishing portals, right? Dark web services, things like that. Let's just say they don't want to check off those boxes. They don't need those products. They're just fine. They're gonna roll the dice, so to speak. And every quarter we talk to them and say, hey, you know what? We need to have an external pen test. We need to test your network. We need to have an ethical hacker attempt to break in, et cetera, et cetera. And they say, no, it's unnecessary, et cetera. So we're having these discussions. We send emails. We're telling them, hey, you need all this security. We're obligated to inform you that um, because of we're responsible people. We don't want to just have a lock at the front door. We want to have an alarm. We want to have cameras. We want to be as proactive as possible to protect your house. Now, all said and done, a year goes by, and they have a breach. Somebody's downloaded ransomware. Their network is now encrypted. Thank goodness we have DR policies in place. We have great backups. We restore their data. They're down for, let's say, 3-4 days, a week at tops. Can they sue us
Well,
for?
like I said, anyone can sue anyone for anything
Okay,
at all
okay,
at any given time. It's
okay.
just it's
I was right.
it's possible.
I know that. I know that. I know that they can sue us because of California laws, and
Right.
because you can sue anybody for anything. Right? Is there a case though? That's my question. My follow-up question is, do they have what are the chances they will succeed in winning? Like, oh, we're going to sue single point of contact because they didn't lock down our network and they didn't I don't recall any conversations about cybersecurity, et cetera, et cetera. Well, how do we prevent that? I mean, what are the chances of them winning is my main question.
Well, we already had that happen many times.
Okay.
So what happens is I tell you, Fernando, you need multi-factor authentication, and you're like, okay, and then you get your system is compromised, forensic analysis is done, and it comes to see that Fernando's password was compromised, and he got the ingress point was his system. Now, you sue me. You say, "Oh God, you did this to me. You were good at your IT security." Well, how did I tell you? Did I tell you verbally? Did I write down that you needed to do it? Did you reply that you understood that you needed to do it and you knew what it meant? All these factors may come into play with the insurance company. It's not even the lawyer. The lawyer will never get involved. We talked to an insurance firm. Lawyers don't get involved. It's all the insurance companies battling it out. And if you don't have an insurance company on your side, you're going to be in trouble. So you definitely need some insurance company on your side. And if they're talking all cybersecurity ish, and you don't even have a basic policy, then yeah, you're going to be in trouble. So
Interesting.
yeah, you can get sued, but is it going to matter? Eh, bleh. Your insurance company might just call it a day and say the policy maxes out at 100 grand. That's what you're going to get, and then they can go after you more. But then they're going to have to incur their own legal fees when they go after you, and that's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars to sue you for what? Then you got to have those guys that figure out how much loss is every day. It's just really really weird.
So, but you do recommend that all IT firms have some level of cybersecurity insurance, not just liability insurance?
I think that yes and no. Again, if you're a one man show, and you're walking around going from building to building, and you're just helping people out with their computers, no, you don't need cyber insurance. If you have a data center and you're housing people's data, and someone puts credit cards and stuff on there, then yes, you do. If you're responsible that someone could somehow there could be splashback on you, then yes, I would do it. But if there's no way there could be splashback, I would. And how to figure out if there's going to be splashback is a good question. You gotta kind of suss it out.
Interesting. All right, great. Well, I appreciate you clarifying that because yeah, there's as you know, there's a lot of one man shops out there, and these guys need some guidance. And you just clarified, hey, based on how much data you're taking care of, or if you're just a small IT firm going from shop to shop or business to business doing computer support, not necessary. Why have the overhead for cyber insurance if that's all you're doing? But I get it. That's great. That's great. That's great to know. And did they clear? I know that insurance companies have all these check boxes, right? I don't know if this checkbox, this list was considered. I'm sure as the industry evolves, it might go this. It might get much more in depth on. Okay, you want cyber insurance? Do you have? I'm sure they're going to have questionnaires in the future. Do you have SIM in place, EDR, XDR, vulnerability scanning, compliance, and DR boxes, disaster recovery? Do you think insurance would be less expensive if you checked off all the security and disaster recovery boxes, or is that really not a factor in how they're going to price that out?
I mean, they're going to do like a risk assessment on you. They're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions, and it's not even known whether or not, if you have like a GDPR policy, if that's going to affect you positively or negatively. Because if you don't deal with anyone in Europe, you don't have a GDPR policy, so you're never going to need it. So them giving you a ding for it and making you pay more insurance because you don't have that policy is unfair. And I think they take that into effect. I hope they do. But we don't know. They told us it's their secret sauce. It's some top secret juice that they have a calculator in the back with with how it all works.
Yep.
So
Yep. You know,
who knows?
we've been in business for over 20 years, 2 decades now, and I've heard a handful of times that we've had some legal dealings. Has anybody filed a cyber? Have we filed a cyber security insurance claim, or has a client filed one? What's the what have you seen in the past?
Yeah, I've seen, like I said, dozens of times. I've seen cybersecurity claims firing off all over the place.
Interesting.
So yeah, we've never done one. No.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, yeah, I'm more concerned about Spock. And if that's ever been the case, what have you seen as far as other organizations? Because I know you talk to a lot of IT firms. What have you seen in the marketplace today? And what should small IT firms, or even firms that are, 5, 10, 20 people, what should they be concerned with? What is your recommendation?
Well, if you go online, there's these small boutique secure cybersecurity. You can pay for it online, and it's like $39 or $100 a month, and they may cover you for a certain amount of money. But a lot of people are asking for or $10 million policies. So then you're stuck now. You can't like. Then you're gonna pay 1,000, 500, $600 for your cyber insurance policy, right? So
Yeah.
if you're going to be paying $1,000 a month for your policy, you better for a $10 million policy, you better have a good customer, right? You better have something lined up that's paying you 12, 11, 10, $12,000 a month, where you're making that as net profit. So, because it's gonna, 1,000 of it's gonna go away, and for your cyber insurance. So, you know, you got to be careful as to, don't go crazy on your insurance and then not be able to pay, or have it all stuck on one customer, or the insurance you're having be so excessive that it's making you not profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, that
I would
makes
just be,
sense.
yeah, you just got to look at your situation.
Interesting. Well, next week we're gonna have a webinar on how small MSPs or IT firms in general can implement a SOC as a service with zero investment. Do you recommend that all MSPs and IT firms have a SOC in place, or is it worth all the headaches? Is it worth all the transition and management? And I know that we've talked several times about building in-house or outsourcing, but let's stick to just, how about just in general, the SOC concept? Is it something that all IT firms need to implement? It's not even a discussion.
It isn't even a discussion. It's not even
Okay.
something that is up for debate anymore.
Yeah.
Customers are looking for cybersecurity as just being folded into your offering. So if you don't have it, then you're not going to get it. So yeah, you're just going to be done.
Yeah. No, it makes sense because it's the world, the way these hackers are have evolved, how much of a threat they are every day, every second of the day, and around the clock. It is getting worse by the minute, it seems. But yeah, I don't think I think that IT departments, IT firms, MSPs, firms that are break fix, you guys need to look into a SOC plan or SOC as a service, because if you plan on delivering value, if you plan on being proactive, if you plan on being different than your competition, it's a nice feather in the cap, right? To offer that SOC as a solution, because it gives that warm fuzzy feeling to clients or prospects that, hey, these guys are not just an IT firm, they provide a cybersecurity strategy to keep us secure, eliminate any breaches. And yeah, it's definitely something that it shouldn't even be up for debate. So I'm glad that that is a common way of thinking for our organization. So, but was there any other topics that the cyber insurance people brought up yesterday that you found, intriguing and you wanted to point out on this podcast?
I mean, they were good at telling me that, countering everything with, you need an insurance company to all of the answer to questions I would ask.
Yeah.
So I find it when someone answers all of your questions with answers of the same origin. It's like, how should I get rid of back pain? Take aspirin. What should I do for headaches? Take aspirin. What should I do if I break my foot? Take aspirin. I kind of feel like, well, okay, that is helpful, sort of. I mean, it's like, keep telling the person the same thing over and over and over again, no matter what they
Yeah.
ask you, is a
Yeah.
little bit. It makes me feel like it's like snake oil,
Interesting.
which I kind of feel like insurance is. To be honest, with 100% honest with you, I think insurance of all types is snake oil. I think the whole thing is a snake oil environment, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I had a friend compare having insurance in place. It's like you're betting yourself every day, every month that, okay, I'm gonna bet $100 that I'm not gonna get in a car wreck this week, right? Or this month, because
Yeah.
it's like you are you got to have it in place. You got to make that. You got to have insurance, but it's that necessary evil, I would say, right?
Well, there's a way if you want in the world that if you can cover it, you can put up a bond for yourself. Like if you have 100 grand in the bank or something, you
Yeah.
could put up a bond and skip insurance.
Okay.
So you could just say, I can cover any damages that are done by myself because I have this bond. And there you go. And you don't have to, you just put the money in the bank and you don't have to pay insurance anymore. You're
Mm,
self-insured basically. And
mm,
lots of rich people do this. And that means that they don't have to pay insurance fees. And every year that goes by, they save, that money, but they still have the requirement of being insured.
very good. Very good. Well, that wraps it up for this podcast. Kept it short because we're going to have a webinar on with this organization. Because yeah, I know that insurance is having a cybersecurity insurance policy is just necessary. I don't even want to say it's an option. I know you feel like it's an option, but I feel you need to have every safeguard in place to keep your business um, and keep it safe from being sued. You don't ever want to go under, and at least get your client to get cyber insurance. Would you recommend that? Would you recommend, okay, I'm not going to get cyber insurance, but I'm going to have my clients get cyber insurance? Would you rather go that route?
Well, I think you should get cyber insurance. I don't think you should get like $5 or $10 million policies. I think you should skip it if you don't ever have any kind of capacity to ever be around, information that could cause a cybersecurity issue. Like if you're a mom and pop or a break fix or a service manager, or if you fix like printers or something,
Yeah.
or whatever the core bulk of your business is, do an evaluation.
Yep. Yep.
Definitely
No, I
get
agree.
it. Definitely
Yep.
recommend your customer get it, because then if anything happens, that's who they're going to go to first. But who's going to sue your customer?
Yeah. Well,
Nobody.
you're
Nobody.
well, they have to. You're right, but if they do get sued, though, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
then they
let's
need it. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure you need it then.
Yeah. If they have a ransomware attack and it spreads to their clients, and then a client discovers that it came from them, yeah, I think they might be in a little trouble. Wouldn't you say?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The possibilities of that is low, would you say?
It's low, but it's there. It's a possible. The word possibility alone should put you into a state of panic. So,
Yeah.
it, if I were working by myself and I were not to be, storing data of a customer's, I wouldn't get it. I wouldn't do it. But if I were to be working on a company, they'd most likely require that I have it. So
Yeah.
there's no getting around it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
It's like the vaccine, right? You could not get it, and then you got to tell people you don't have it. They're just not going to hire you. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, I'll just go get it because I want to get hired. You don't even
Yeah.
have to believe or not believe in it. You just
Yeah.
go get it because it's part of job requirements. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if someone goes, "Do you believe in the vaccine?" You're like, "No, but I believe in work.
Yeah.
I believe in working for people, and so therefore I got it. No big
Yeah.
deal. I don't. Who cares?"
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a valid point. Valid. Very
Yeah.
valid. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this show, and thanks for listening. And Greg, thanks again for being part of this podcast and topic. And this is a wrap. We'll say good night and we'll talk to you later. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.